I purchased a value priced, air quotes, solar setup from Amazon.com. I'm debating whether or not to share the name of the particular manufacturer or country of origin, just because of what you'll see in the rest of this here video. So the thing comes. I had it delivered at a friend's house in Tucson. You know who you are. And finally got up to the woods here where I wanted to put the thing in. So here's the unwrapping video, first of all. Engaging voiceover mode. As we can see, the corners of the package are reasonably. Oh, there's a decent one. Only the paint is, the tape is a little smashed in, but the corners they're bashed. They're just toast. All right, you can hear in the background of the voiceover mode that my generator is running, and that is because of ... We'll just leave that for later. So now I am inspecting the packing list. However, there's a mystery here. There's an address label. There's an address label. How many times has this thing been shipped? It went to Miss Vicky in Cleburne, Texas before me. Then it went back to a warehouse in California. And then it came out to me. And here's going to be what's inside the carton. And we're unwrapping, and here we go. We're going to pull out the first panel. Let's see what happens when we get this panel out of the box and flip it over. There we go. It's got a thick plastic coating on the surface to protect it during shipping. However, there's a really deep gouge. There is just carnage all over this face of this thing. I'm starting to doubt if it's going to work. There's a deep gouge. So let's just take a look at what else is in the box here. We have a charge controller. We have a package of accessories. We have some sort of cableage. Those are splitters, combiners, male and female. And we have what appeared to be a battery cable for a moped. Those are the wires hanging off of the diode pack on the face, not the back, the face of the panels. And here comes panel number 2. Well, we ran out of the plastic sheeting, so we just ran a strip of shipping tape down the seam. All right, I guess that'll work. More bubbles in the protector. A random zip tie shows up for no reason whatsoever. We'll just set that aside. And let's engage speed mode. Any second now. There we go. Disengage. Speed mode. Oh, this one came with a piece of styrofoam in between. And really, it's more of the same here, folks. More gouges in the surface between them, even though this one had a nice piece of doubled up, I guess that's some sort of polystyrene foam between them. Let's see if there's anything else in the box. Yeah, there's a corner protector. I think there were a total of 3 corner protectors in the whole box for 2 panels, each having 4 corners each. And there you have it. 4 banged up solar protectors, a couple of decent looking accessories, a couple of indecent looking PWM charge controllers, and that's what comes in the kit. Okay. Now, I kind of tossed to the side the accessories that came with the thing. So what I'd like to do now is just kind of inspect each of these to see what you're getting for your money with this particular value priced setup from Amazon. I do want to mention Amazon is a stand-up company. All right, first of all, it came with 2 of these. As you saw, there were 2 boxes strapped together, and each one was a 2-panel kit. Each panel, 24 volts, 300 watts. Right, keep those numbers in mind now. 300 watts per panel. And here's why. So it came with this little PWM, which is the inferior type of charge controller. But they work. You just lose a lot of your energy. They're not efficient. MPPT is much better, and I purchased a very good MPPT charge controller to run this whole thing. So here's one of the charge controllers, and this is rated for 12 or 24 volts. Good. It's a 24 volt system, so it's rated for 24 volts. Rated current 40 amps. Okay, that's certainly doable. Two 300 watt panels at 24 volts. I did the math earlier. It's something like 18 amps per. So you could certainly plug 2 18 amp open circuit panels into this thing safely. Maximum photovoltaic voltage, 50 volts. Cool, they're 2 24 volt panels. Max photovoltaic input power, 130 watts at 12 volt or 260 watts at 24 volts. What's wrong with this picture? These are 24 volt panels. Each one rated 300 watts. So the 2 panels together, 600 watts. It's telling you to put 600 watts through each of these little PWM charge controllers that are rated for 260 watts at 24 volts. So this is garbage. So next we have, each kit came with a set of these battery leads. These are 10 gauge wire. I don't know about you folks. I am not going to put this kind of energy through a single 10 gauge stranded wire. These little clippies here. Yeah, it's not good. So let's discard those. Each kit came with a set of male, a set of female combiners, so that you could ostensibly run these in parallel or in series. That's good. I don't mind that. I tested them both parallel and series. These panels won't light a 100-watt bulb. Put it that way. These look like they're pretty good quality. I've taken the ends off of them and looked at the connections and whatnot, and the crimps look good. They're made of a 10 gauge cable. So these look like standard, pretty good little combiners. We'll talk about combiner boxes and methods of combining later when I decide how I'm going to put that all together. But right now I've got everything almost lined up. So we'll put those on the good pile. I like these. Now then there's this little bag, and the little bag contains male connectors, just like these. Female connectors, again, those look like the same quality as what's on this thing, so I'm going to call that pretty good quality. And it comes with 1, 2, 3, 4 Beaners for 2 panels. So you got 2 Beaners per panel here, and these are made of an aluminum alloy, and I'm pretty sure would take very little force to open these up and lose your panels off of your rig, off of your boat, whatever it is that moves more than, let's say, 4 miles an hour down the road or on the water. Let's put those on the bad pile. And next is an unintelligible instruction manual. Okay, let's put that on the bad pile. And finally, it comes with a set of leads to connect it into the charge controller. And you have your standard MC4 connectors. These are all nice MC4 connectors. And these MC4s are tied to .16-gauge wire. Nice copper wire. 16-gauge wire. 16-gauge wire to float 300 watts of power through to a battery. Okay, 10-gauge wire. That is what you should have on any kind of MC4 connector, maybe 12 gauge if the source is not that high, like a 100-watt solar panel. I'm sure we'll go through 16 gauge just fine. However, 600 watts, no. You wouldn't string 6 100-watt bulbs onto these wires. Not for a solar setup. Alright, so all in all, the experience with this particular value priced kit has been terrible. I wanted to show the performance of a typical panel. Not typical to me, but okay. Out of 4 panels, like the finger, out of 4 panels, hang on, let me throw this away. Alright. Out of 4 panels, I got 2 that are dead, that are producing 0 wattage. I have 2 that are pretty similar, within 1/10 of a watt of each other. And let's call those typical, because they didn't get messed up all the times these panels were shipped from Asia to the United States, and then from the United States to the United States to the United States to the United States until they finally landed in my rig. So those two, they're just dead. The two that work perform as such. So having tested them individually, I decided that this was the best performing of two panels that actually produce energy, and the other two are, they're just dead. So this one, which we'll call this working, is currently producing 14.7 volts, 2.7 amps. You're talking 45 watts-ish of usable electricity coming off of those two 24-volt, 300-watt solar panels. Now, I have that thing set up. It was approximately 11:30 when I set that whole rig up, pretty close to noon to test it out. And I angled that chair at there about 30 degrees, which for the area I'm in right now, McGowan Rim in Arizona, 30 degrees is what they should be set up at. They're in full sunlight, there is not a cloud in the sky, and they are fully warmed up. Warmed up panels produce a little bit less energy than they're specified at. They're generally accepted to have been tested while they were cool, going down the factory floor, not when they're hot lying in the sun. So the results that I got are right there on the meter. I got approximately 45 watts out of a 300 watt panel. Noon at 30 degrees and just broad daylight, no clouds. So that's not good. Bottom line, end of story. Let's put this on the bad pile. End of story. This is what was good. Out of one of the kits, two of them combined for 1,200 watts. Out of 1,200 watts of solar for $859, including tax and all that, for 8.5 bells, here's what was good. MC4 connectors, MC4 combiners. That's not good. That's pretty much what I classify as being a Grand Mall ripoff. But Amazon did right. After I unwrapped it, I shot the unwrapping video. I went online. I requested a return for a full refund. It was approved by Amazon right away, and you will hear from the vendor within 5 days with shipping instructions on how to send it back to them, which, as you saw from the unveiling video, it got shipped a couple of times. So Amazon approved the return. 5 days later, I never heard from the manufacturer on instructions how to return it to their warehouse. Got online with Amazon.com, spoke to a really nice guy whose name escapes me. He said, "Oh, I see, that's a problem. Well, we'll just refund your money in full, and you can keep the panels or you can throw the panels away. We don't care. We'll just take care of it with the vendor on our end." And I said, "Super!" So Amazon stood up and did the right thing here. Brand C is hanging on the hook with Amazon because of it. Should I leave a review? I don't know. Should I mention the manufacturer's name? I can't pronounce it. So I did want to make the point that Amazon stood up for the product, took care of me, and in 7 to 10 business days, I will have the refund. I have no doubt about it. So which solar panels am I going to end up with at the end? I don't know. I've been watching a lot of videos by a guy by the name of Will Prowse, who is the author of a great book called Mobile Solar Power, I think. Anyway, he's also got a great YouTube channel where he explains things so that dummies like me can understand them and assemble a really great system to stick up on the roof of Moby Dick. Anyway, that's the whole presentation. And I hope you all found this to be at least a little bit helpful. Thanks. Oh my God, I hit my dog with the charge controller.